YouTube, what is up? It is time for Pickems. Champs is tomorrow, so we've got to get our Pickems done. Like every Champs, I have a rough map pool of where I think teams are at the moment. I've been relatively strict. I would say there's definitely some more maps that people would probably put in S tier. Maybe Haven for Paperex is a good example. I just haven't put it there because I don't think they've been fully tested, and I'm not like super confident with maybe it having some kind of flaw, in my opinion, that could get exploited. So that's maybe why I've leaned more over towards an A. I think the Haven's probably a good example. Most people probably have that in S. Then we have small question mark. This will be something in the map that I'm not sure about. So, for example, Paperex is Ascent. They're using a Sage. I don't think long-term it will be great on attack. So that's kind of why I've got it down here as a little question mark. Then obviously big question mark is who knows? Who knows about the map, right? Corrode, they haven't played it yet. They floated it against Boom, but we haven't seen it. We don't know what they play. I don't know where they're at. So we just kind of put it roughly in the B. Don't actually look at where the tier is. It's just a question mark. So Paperex, we don't know about their Corrode, we don't know about their Biz, so a couple of question marks on this one. But in terms of just the head-to-head, I do think they're so fine. I think they're so fine against Gili. Maybe Gili can take a map, but in terms of two maps, I just don't see it happening. If I was Gili, I'm probably trying to go for a curveball. Like, try get a Biz, try get a Corrode. Just see what they have and just see if you can beat it. That's probably the way that I would go with this one. Giants against Sentinels. This one is close. This one is definitely close. This is one that we probably have to think a little bit about. Giants, I imagine, would get rid of Lotus. I don't think it's been great for them, especially with Sentinels. It's one of their better maps. Sentinels always ban out Ascent majority of the time, so I think that their Ascent would be here. I could understand if Giants wanted to pick a bind from what we've seen. I think that would actually be a pretty good move from them. But I think most likely they will lean into what feels good for them and pick a Sunset. So I think Sunset is pretty close. Sentinels' Sunset is not too bad at all. Obviously, they lost to 2G, but I think 2G actually look good on this map as well. So I put them as a B+. So B+ against A. It's still pretty close, but I would just say that Giants maybe win that one out if we did get there. Sentinels, I'm expecting them to pick a Haven. I would probably go for a 1-1 after that as well. And then we get into third map territory. Thinking Abyss. I'm thinking, what else is left? Corrode. Corrode would be awesome. Corrode would be really good. We've got an A- with a small question mark. What was the small question mark here? They're at their defense, I think. Sentinels have been having good attacks, but their defense is a little bit questionable. I think that's probably why the question mark was here. So this would be fun. I would probably, just because of how close the Sunset would be, and the fact that I would favor them slightly on Corrode, I would probably go for a 2-1. The Sentinels here. But again, I think this one's really close. Especially if, I think Giants picking the bind would be great. I really do. I think that would be good for them instead of the Sunset, because I wouldn't feel super confident they would win the Sunset. I still think it's relatively close. I could see a 2-1 to Sentinels here, but again, map pool-wise, I don't know. They got a chance, especially if there's a rematch. Try and change up that veto. I think it might work well. Giants against Gili. Is this close enough? Let's have a little look just in case. Maybe getting rid of the Lotus again. One of their better maps. I will just say the Chinese teams are a little bit odd on Lotus, Corrodes, and Sunset. I don't think they fully have the best understanding on the map. Maybe Billy has better understanding on some of the maps. Maybe EDG have just been too messed up in their roles of who's playing what to show me that they understand these maps well. So maybe it's that. But yeah, the Chinese teams, at least on these three maps, I probably have them a little bit lower than some of the other teams and some of the other regions, just because I don't think they have the best understanding. So if you are looking at this and thinking I'm a little bit low on them in terms of those maps, it's pretty much why I can't get a good gauge of them, because there's certain teams in that region that I believe don't have a good understanding on this map, so it's hard for me to actually work out if they look good or if it's the other teams just giving them free wins on these maps. Giants probably going to get an Ascent here. That's pretty nice for them. It's like a 1-0. Bind could be close. Haven. Ooh. I mean, unless Giants start thinking they can take them on one of these maps. There's a world where Giants mess up the veto here and lose. I would say that. But considering everything, I think that they're favored with the veto. So I will go for Giants on this one. But again, I think if Giants kind of mess up this veto a little bit, give some of these, give Gili some of their maps that they prefer, For sure, the Haven or the Bind, though, if they kind of get both of these in the map pool, I think they kind of did great. So we'll see on that one. Paperx, I think, should be Sentinels. Let's kind of check how close it would be quickly. Maybe a little bit closer than some people would think, just purely because if Sentinels wanted to ban the Bind, then I'm not sure Paperx would ever pick the Ascent. So that's maybe a move for Sentinels if they wanted to go for it, float the Ascent and see if Paperx would actually pick it. The Corrode looking nice. They could also pick a Corrode. We don't know what that's like. There is a world that if Sentinels get to this stage, that they could have a... They could, if they were smart with the Vita, win this one. But from what I've seen, if we kind of go to these other maps, right, if we did a head-to-head on these, I do just feel better about Paperx on them. Even though I have them A tier, I think they could be very close, especially if we get to the actual pistols. If I was going head-to-head, I would actually prefer Paperx on Lotus, and I prefer Sentinels on Haven. So it would be interesting to see what we got third map. This might be closer than teams think, but I just think the Paperx are just looking better. I just have way more faith in them. And then the matchup between Sentinels Giants. Again, I think if Giants took a gamble here from losing this and kind of worked out what map they maybe have a better chance on, they actually might have a good go at this. I think I would stick with... Do I believe in that? Do you know what? I haven't backed... Well... I haven't backed Giants for the whole year. Is this the time that I start believing? Can they take down Sentinels after learning from the map veto before? I might do it. I might actually do it. Nah, it's Sentinel. This is the thing. I have so much team value at the moment where I'm just looking at teams thinking, especially this is going to happen with Fnatic. Keep thinking like, it's Fnatic. They should be qualifying, right? Just pure experience diff. Yeah, we'll back the pure experience diff, but I will say that I can definitely see a world where Giants win this. I actually think this one's very, very close. So I'll go with Sentinels, but I would be... Yeah, I think this could be close, man. I think Giants' map pool is not too bad, and I think it actually works pretty well against Sentinels. It really just depends on the Abysses. There's too many unknowns for me to feel like super confident. But I will just go with experience. Okay, let's lock that one in. And then we have Billy against MIBR, and this gets a little bit weird for sure. Because, I mean, MIBR's not looking great over here. I don't really know where to put them for a lot of these because it's like I don't like how they play with double duelist. I just watched the interviews as well, like the pre-day interviews. And Aspas was just like, yeah, we'll just kind of play and see how it goes, which I think is a good attitude, but it didn't fill me with much confidence. So I think I have to just back Billy. They're better map pool wise, and I mean, maybe with a sunset. Maybe they could get a sunset. Like if MIBR managed to fast pick a sunset here, and Billy just banned the Ascent instead, then maybe. But I gotta just back Billy on this one. I really do. I think MIBR is gonna have a rough time from what I'm seeing, but who knows? There is no pressure. There is literally no pressure for this team, so they could definitely step up and show us something. Fnatic against RRQ. This is the big one. This is the big one. Dude, I was looking at RQ's map pool actually thinking not too bad. Not too bad at all. And Fnatic, as you can see, I didn't really know where to put some of these. Like their Haven, I think I'm lenient putting it as a B-. I was tempted to put over towards C. It was definitely a world where I put both of these down over towards C, to be honest with you. We could have had 4 maps in the C tier. I mean, looking at this... Looking at this, am I not just straight away picking RRQ? Where did Fnatic even win here? Bind? That's getting banned. Then you gotta go Corrode. RRQ's got a great Corrode. So that's a 50-50. They win here. I put the Teo because they play against the Teo. Dude, I could understand if RRQ wanted to pick Ascent as well. But I reckon Fnatic might start banning it. Right? Yeah, I think that's right. I gave Fnatic a C+ on this because I actually think they fixed some of their stuff, even though the results don't show it. They've been getting wrecked. They have like a big tell in their comp. They don't take over towards B main, but obviously now I think they have a B main default, pretty much stolen from G2, I would imagine. But when they tried it against BBL, they got beaten by the Teo comp. That's why I put the Teo here, because honestly, this comp does counter this comp. Dude, I look at this, and I'm just not even sure which maps I even favor Fnatic on. I gotta go RRQ. I gotta go RRQ. I gotta ignore the... Even though I didn't ignore the team factor here, this was a close one. In theory, on paper, this actually isn't that close. It's just that it's Fnatic, and it's like, well, is Alpha just going to kill everyone? Fnatic against MIBR. Do I need to look at this as well? They beat MIBR, though, right? What's MIBR? Let's have a little look. Oh, boy. I've got way too many things open. Fnatic, I mean, I tell you what, kind of doable again. They're a center both on the same level. They'll probably get rid of the sunset. Fnatic have got to have one of these maps good, man. They gotta change one of these maps at the very least. And their Abyss. And their Haven should... honestly, I was lenient with the B-. The Haven should be down here. Can I put MIBR beating Fnatic? I don't think so. They're at least a map up. They're at least 1-0 up. And then I have enough faith that Fnatic will change one of these, that it should be a curveball. Whether it's a fast fix on these two, or whether it's a full change up of these. Dude, honestly, I think the fast fix on Sunset as well is kind of easy. They just need to change up their calling style. And I'm expecting Fnatic to actually have that stuff. That might be one of the reasons that they do actually upset RRQ, so that they change up their calling style. They go back into kind of what they were doing for the first 2, maybe even 2-3 years, where they used to have like a lot more set strats and just throw them in there. And again, they were like well thought out set strats that they could definitely beat RRQ if they started to do that and cleaned up their map pool. But again, just from the data we have, I gotta back RRQ here. Fnatic should be fighting against MIBR from what we've seen, but again, it might actually be a little closer than I think. Billy against RRQ. Where on earth are we? Billy, RRQ. So probably a ban. Probably a ban of the bind. Dude, that's the maps that... It's the maps that RRQ like. And honestly, I have no idea if this is actually an A. Again, the Chinese Lotus is so weird. It's so weird that I think Billy are getting free kills and like free map wins that maybe it isn't even A tier. I'm not too sure. RRQ, why on earth did I give him a question mark here? Because we didn't watch enough of their Lotus. I can't even remember why I did this one, so might have to go back and I'll talk about it on stream once I remember. Billy might win a Haven though. I would say RRQ win on Lotus unless I can remember what this is, and then I would say, dude, it's doable. It is doable, but I'm gonna back RRQ. I think they're fine for this one. And then Billy against Fnatic. Dude, this one's hard, man. Billy against Fnatic. Let's look at the map pool a little bit. The Abyss is really going to mess up every kind of logic that I'm throwing into this, so I don't even know why I'm doing this, but it's just at least good once we do get maps that match up, I can maybe have a bit of insight in terms of who I think is going to win it. Dude, they both hate the same maps. Both hate the same maps, and then it comes down to these 4 being indifferent. So you would imagine they win one. They win one, and then it either goes to one of these, or it will go to the new map. Yeah, I think this is close, man. Do we give this to Fnatic, or do we give this to Billy? This is like a coin flip. Who is gonna be better on Abyss? Dude, I'm gonna go with... People are gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna go with Fnatic just purely because I think that they should know what their weaknesses are. They have 3 weeks. They can fast fix a lot of these. Like, no joke, if I was Fnatic right now, which can I actually fast fix? Their Ascent might be fixed, but I think they're going to overthink it. So I think they're going to have new comp here. Sunset's super easy, just mid-strats. Just faster mid-strats using Neon. You should be going top mid. Haven is actually... Haven's done. That's the hard one to fix, to be honest. These 2 are the hard ones to fix, but I think their Ascent's okay, but I think they'll overthink it. Lotus might be a hard fix. Okay, well, it's a little bit harder than I thought. I think they should focus on Sunset, maybe. Sunset, Lotus. Sunset, Lotus, maybe these are the easiest two to get good. And then you got Abyss, and then you only have one bad map. And then that one bad map against Billy is either a Sen, which they're gonna ban. So you ban Lotus, and then they don't pick a Sen. Yeah, I think Fnatic are gonna be fine here. I think that's okay. Let's lock that one in as well. Okay, Liquid against DRX. Liquid against DRX. Dude, this is gonna be a long video. I didn't realize it's gonna be this long, but people can fast forward if they want. Liquid against DRX. So Liquid's map pool is interesting because I think they're pretty good on most of these maps, and then somehow no one picked their Haven, which historically they looked pretty rough at, and they were bad at Haven and Icebox, and then somehow they're somehow they're still just got away with not playing Haven. Their Corrode is in a rough spot, I think, at the moment. They they can't get a good comp. Once they had a Gecko comp that was struggling on defense, changed their comp, and now they're struggling on attack. So it's a little bit weird for Liquid, but at least they kind of know what they need to focus on. 3 maps, they've historically been the best, or one of the best at Abyss. Same with DRX. If we get Abyss 3rd map, this is going to be an absolute banger. I heard that DRX isn't taking Estrella. I don't know if it got confirmed today. I need to look into it. But I think either way, I'm going to be back in Liquid anyway. I'm not super high up on DX, especially if they're changing and putting Flicker back in. So, yeah, we're going to be going for this one. Dude, EDG is a hard one. I was watching EDG the other day, just trying to get to grips in terms of where on earth EDG are. And actually, I think they're starting to get a pretty good understanding of the Yoru now that Kang's on the Yoru. And again, it should suit him in terms of how he likes to play. So I'm excited to watch EDG. I definitely think that they could upset a little bit. NRG have the best Corrode. Let's think. You would ban Corrode here. You would ban Corrode, and then they're not going to pick. This is Ascent, but I remember watching their Ascent and just thinking, how does it look so bad for NRG? It should be a good map, because Brock's incredible at that map. So that's why I did a big question mark, just because it's like, I know they should be better at this map. But I think EDG would ban this. I'm pretty sure. NRG, is Bonka going to want to play Abyss? Yeah, Bonka would want to play Abyss. So let's say that they might actually play each other on their kind of favored maps. NRG would win this. Haven would be an absolute banger. I think Bind... Dude, NRG have to ban their Bind. It's so bad. They have 3 maps at the moment that are like pretty bad, and I would say 2 maps that are really bad. I think C- is the worst I've given for any map. So EDG win Bind, and they would win Sunset. Dude, it's gonna come down to like an Abyss or something, beta wise. Let me try and work this out. Sorry, I should have done this before. Let's say that these are out. You're gonna pick one of them. You're gonna pick Lotus. Lotus is pretty close. If it got to Bind, you would win, so you're 1-1 up. Then it would go to Haven, B+, both for Haven. Man, this is close. I might go for EDG here just because most people would have NRG. Is that madness? I don't think that's mad. Let's do it. Let's go for EDG. I think NRG are looking good, but I think people are pretty high up on them at the moment. NRG against DRX. I don't need to explain it too much. I just think DRX are done. Should we look at the map pool just in case there's something that I'm blatantly obviously missing? I mean, NRG would get a free Corrode as well, and then maybe even a Lotus Haven. Yeah, I think that would be fine. I do think at the moment NRG, I think most of the times it's going to go 3rd map because teams should be picking Bind or Sunset, but they could ban Bind. Yeah, I'm pretty sure DRX are going to have a rough time here. Liquid against EDG. Let's have a little look for this one. I think Liquid should be fine here from what I'm watching. Yeah. Liquid should be fine, especially again with their Abyss. It should be a pretty good map pool for them. EDG, NRG rematch. Do I have faith in Bonka for a rematch? I probably should. I probably should have faith in Bonka for a rematch, but something's just telling me that EDG are going to be okay. I just think that they shouldn't be I think they should be this. I don't know, man. It's team bias because EDG. Let's back them in this one. Let's back EDG. I think it's just name bias on this one. But again, the NRG EDG game's super close, so I could understand if this was NRG. Do you think Liquid will be fine here? And then last we have, dude, this group is a nightmare because I really want to put T1 going through, but I was looking at Heretics and I actually think they're better than maybe even I was thinking at the beginning. Let's quickly look at the map pool. Where are we? Oops. Where are we for the map pool? We have Heretics, and then we have G2. Now this is the one where people probably flame me the most because this could be S tier, this could be S tier for sure. For sure, I can understand if you want to put them here. My A, I mean, honestly, it's just because I haven't seen Leaf with the team. When I watched them, I saw there was a result against, who did they lose to on this? I think they lost to Gen G on Haven for in EWC, but it looked like Gen G won double pistols, so maybe this should be an S. But again, I just haven't seen them with Leaf, which I'm sure they should be fine. And honestly, this should be S tier. It's just the fact that this is Fnatic's fault. This is me thinking that there is a problem with the comp. Even though I'm so confident with the comp, I'm just like, well, if they've been antied so hard, why not G2? But I know they have a B main. And I know that maybe some teams could use the Teo comp double drone against the double TP. I think is pretty strong. So I couldn't realistically put this as an S, even though a lot of people would, and with the Haven as well. So it's definitely something that I can understand the people were questioning. Dude, Heretics' map pool isn't too bad. A lot of time they were losing was because of Icebox. They started leaning over towards a corrode ban. I mean, just look at the maps. Let's put G2. It's fine. DRG against T1. Where is T1? Dude, I can't even remember doing T1. Where is T1? Okay, we have found T1. So T1 against DRG. So this is like kind of interesting because again, I find the Chinese teams hard to place at the moment. Obviously, you got to think that Vukashu's not in here as well, but these teams do like the same maps for sure. So this could be a little bit close. I do just think, again, this is kind of done off of what we've seen so far, but I just think T1 have so much time to prep and have had so much time off, and I think they've been boot camping for a while, that they should just be looking so much better. So going to be going with T1 on this one. Sadly for DRG, I think Heretics are taking this one. G2 against T1 should be fine. And then we get a really big game. T1 against Heretics. My goodness, we have a lot of things up. Is Heretics here? Yeah. Where are we at with the map pool on this one? Does it come down to Abyss? Maybe. T1 might love Abyss, man. They got Buzz. Buzz used to farm on that map. They've been playing a little bit of Chamber as well. Could definitely put him on the Chamber. Binds. Heretics would win. Haven would be close. Sunset, I think T1 would win. So we're kind of at a 1-1 if we got a Haven, let's say. And then no one wants to play Lotus. I think this would go down to an Abyss. And then it's just like, well, who do you favor on this? I think I'm going to go T1. I've been speaking very highly how I think T1 are going to be doing great. I will say that Heretics can definitely get out of this group. They've been losing a lot of their games because of Icebox, but what I was seeing T1 remind me a little bit of where I think EDG is at the moment, where the last like week or so that I saw them playing some of these maps, I was kind of like, hold up, I think you guys are starting to get it. I think you could see the maps that they've been like maybe prioritizing, and I felt it looked pretty good. So I will be locking in that. Is there anything I want to change? What's my most criminal one? Billy. Oh, dude, Billy Fnatic I might have to go back to. Can I have Fnatic going out? Am I giving them too much name value? NRG, EDG. Should I be switching the Chinese teams around slightly? NRG in a rematch really losing to EDG? In a rematch? That one's interesting. Let's go back to this one quickly. Billy Fnatic. It doesn't... With how Billy are playing and how Fnatic are playing, I don't know. Why did I pick Billy? That's all I'm questioning at the moment. It's too much name value I keep putting on them. They both had the same maps. These maps are gone. Oh yeah, I said I had too much faith that Fnatic would change stuff up. It's like a boaster diff, I guess. Dude, Billy win this. It might be in the map pool. It might be in the map pool. Fnatic would win this. Fnatic would win this. Dude, it's so even. It's actually so even in terms of the maps. It kind of comes down to map view and how good people think they are on certain maps. Yeah, okay, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I've relooked at this. I'm fine with the Fnatic. Let's keep EDG, because otherwise then I have no Chinese teams, and Chinese teams always make it at least one. It should be Billy, but... Okay, we are locking this one in. And then on top of that as well, we have VFL. VFL is back. And yeah, I was searching for Nats to see how much he was. He was expensive, so we didn't pick him. My goodness, what is going on here? We're getting a lot of warnings. Again, try this out for champs. It's pretty fun. The slugs, there we go. And I've gone for something as my IGL, hopefully, if it does that. We've gone for Brock because he's cheap, DH because he's DH, Chichu because he's underpriced, surely he must be better than he's been playing, Cushy because he's relatively cheap, and Jonah P because he's playing the best Valorant, in my opinion, of his career. So we are having like a middle of the pack kind of team with something as the carry. And I think it's not too bad. I think in my mind I've just gone for underpriced players. So we'll see if they perform. How on earth do I make this guy IGL? Manage IGL. Is he IGL? Why does it feel like it's not? Okay, well, we'll see how that one goes out. I feel like I've missed something here or missed some kind of step. Is there anything else? Top 10, top 15. People like to talk about this, so I just have this one here. Is my head blocking anything? Why is he in Divide? My head's blocking, so maybe I move this up here. Sorry to Kayak. Okay, there we go. The only things I kind of need to explain here are the fact that Leaf isn't here, and I like to do my top 15 off of mostly like form. So obviously we haven't really seen Leaf apart from 2 games. If it was done more off of like how I think they're going to be at champs, he would probably be in the top. I mean, he would probably be above Valen, maybe, I would say as well. Second's maybe a little bit higher up than some people think, but I just think that he is playing great, and when he doesn't perform, that's when Sentinels kind of drop off a little bit, but I think he's playing great. Aspas 15, just because I want to have him. He's kind of like in a similar spot to Leaf, where it's like I didn't see enough, but I kind of have to have him there. Meteor, same thing. It's just like the guy can pop off. Chronicle, I didn't put Chronicle in, and that's mainly because I think Fnatic were going to have, well, I mainly thought Fnatic were going to have a rougher time, but now I've looked at the map pool against Billy, I actually feel like maybe I should have put him on here. Yeah, I think in my head I had Fnatic losing to Billy while I was doing this. Jonah P, number 5, just more of a shout out to Jonah P, just because, again, I think he's playing the best that he's been playing. Eco, I think he's a beast, Nats beast at the moment as well. A lot of Paper X players, but I think they're the best at the moment. Did I skip anyone else out? Nah, I think Leaf and Chronicle are the main culprits I have in terms of not having them in. I think Leaf is probably the worst, because I could understand people having him in their top 5, to be honest. I just do it off of recent form as well as old names, but I would have put him here. If he was playing the whole time again, he would be a lot higher up. Okay, that is it. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow for champs. I'm very excited. I'm hoping it's going to be a banger event, especially some of the groups. These groups are looking hard, so I think that we should see some banging games straight away, to be honest, especially with the Sentinels Giants. All right, peace everyone. Bye. Oh, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. All right, bye.